Well, hello, my friends. It's me, Stu, here for you, and I've got a special treat of a person who is joining me today. It is the author of the book, The Way of the Intelligent Rebel. The subtitle is Succeed Outside the System, Teach Yourself Anything, and Achieve Ultimate Freedom. It's the one and only Olivier Roland. Olivier, how are you, my friend?
I'm awesome. Thank you, Stu, for inviting me. My God, what a good energy you have from the start. I love it.
Well, listen, I'm excited. It is a meaty book. And I know that this book you worked on to trim it down because there was so much you wanted to include in this. This is the English version of this. And I want to kind of unpack this in a multitude of different ways. But before we do that, let's just take a moment and pause and let's give people a chance to get to know you. Talk to us about where, your business and who is it that you serve in your business?
Sure. So I love to say I'm a teacher of freedom. So I teach basically people how to be free. So what does it mean exactly? So through two ways, mainly materially through entrepreneurship, how to be free with a company that is in service of your life instead of your life being in service of your business, which unfortunately is the case for a lot of entrepreneurs. And also how to be free in your mind, through personal development, how to become a better version of yourself. I dropped school at 18 to start my first company. It was an amazing adventure. After a few years, I was tired of working 60, 70 hours a week. And for years, I looked for a solution. I couldn't find any. And long story short, I managed to create a business on the internet that I know manage in French. I have a few 100,000 people who follow me, and I try to inspire them to be more free and have a more happy life.
Well, I'm super grateful that you joined here today, and people will see when they get a copy of this book that I'm in there. I'm right there. I'm right there in the book because I had the honor of being able to read it ahead of time. You and I have known each other for many, many years now, being in a mastermind together, and I have witnessed and watched you hack the system, so to speak, and we're going to unpack that. But what I love about the way you think is that you don't take things on the surface. You first think about what it is that you want to get out of your life, and you find a way to achieve it with the least amount of effort, the least amount of money, to give you more time and freedom for the things that you love. So we always hear you talking about the 80-20 rule. We always hear you, distilling things down to the essence of it and finding magical ways. Even in a conversation the other day, you and I were chatting and you said that you had a residency in all these different countries because one of the things you love to do is travel. And I'm like, how did you figure this out? And you're like, well, yeah. And this is my point. So I want to get to the book because the book is, I would look at it, it's almost like the modern day Tim Ferriss book. You know what I mean? It's like an updated modern day version of that. And so let's kind of unpack the book for a moment here. Mm-hmm. You talk about the intelligent rebel. It's the title of the book is The Way of the Intelligent Rebel. So let's define what it is that you mean by intelligent rebel. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's a great question. Basically, an intelligent rebel is someone, he can be a student or already, a professional in professional life. He can have all the external sides of success. He can have like an amazing job, an amazing diploma, an amazing house, an amazing family, etc., etc. But he feels deep down that something is missing. That there is maybe another way for him to blossom, to be the best version of himself or herself. And usually it has to go through creation. So it can be artistic creation, like writing a book, writing a theater piece. It can be the creation of an adventure, like doing a world tour for 1 year, for example. It can be the creation of a business. But basically, the intelligent rebel is someone who creates his own adventure through life, who creates his own path. And he feels it doesn't fit really well in the education system and in the workplace system. And one of the messages of the book is like, it's totally okay to feel like this. And it's important because, especially at the start, but it can last for a long time if you don't realize it, you can feel a bit strange. You can feel like a misfit, like someone who doesn't really belong in this. And you usually will feel it's your problem. You think it's your problem. And one of the messages of the book is like, it's not a problem, actually. It's a big strength if you know how to play your card right, and it's amazing to create your own adventure in life. And I try to give you all the tools and mindset and philosophy and strategies to do that efficiently.
Well, I remember this moment for me, Olivier. I was in university. I was going through getting my honors business degree, and they were training us essentially to enter into the corporate world. And that's exactly what happened. I would say 95% of my graduating class went into the corporate world. But I felt like a square peg in a round hole. I didn't like wearing suits and ties. I didn't like, being chained to a cubicle. I didn't like being told when I could and couldn't work and all these kinds of things. And I remember feeling really guilty about that. And I'm feeling like, there was something wrong with me, because here I was watching all of my peers just excited to go into that world. And that was not the world that I wanted to enter. So this is why I love the idea of the intelligent rebel. And again, we're talking to Olivier Roland, the author of the brand new book, The Way of the Intelligent Rebel: Succeed Outside the System, Teach Yourself Anything, and Achieve Ultimate Freedom. Okay, so you talked about being able to learn in a different way. And I want to ask you about this, because you are incredible in terms of the way your mind thinks about learning. But I know that this is something that you've been training and teaching yourself over many years. And so I want to talk to you about that. Like, when you talk about hacking the education system and hacking your lifestyle, what are you really talking about here?
Well, that's very large question. But basically, it's like, I start the book with 3 principles to succeed in life, and the 3 principles are the following. First, the realization that in anything, any field, anything even you are super interested in, there are methods that are more efficient than others. It seems like very casual to say that, very, very normal. But a lot of people don't realize these really, because a lot of people, for example, they want to be at least financially independent, to have a job they love, or to create a company that they love. They want to have the perfect spouse, they want to have a great sex, great friends, etc., etc. And for any of these, you have method you can learn that will make you better. And it's important to realize deeply, not just intellectually, but like in your guts, that it actually exists. And when you really feel this, then you use the principle of the good skepticisms. What is the good skepticism? When you encounter miracle methods that seems too good to be true, the first reaction usually is like, oh yeah, come on. If it will be so easy, people will know it, or okay, again, a scammer who tried to get my money. Well, it's okay to have this kind of reactions, but what you want to do is to use them as a way to do an experiment. Because at the end of the day, the only way to really show if something is working or not is to try it for yourself, And obviously, you cannot try everything. You need to choose your battles. But it's important to have this mindset of instead of rejecting things right away, you use these skepticisms to fuel a motivation for you to try things, to be in the field, to experiment in reality, And when you adopt this mindset of a scientist, you sometimes encounter things you would have thought it would be impossible, but actually it works, And I'm sure you had this experience. I had this experience, for example, we share a mentor, Jeff Walker, who invented the product launch formula. It's basically one of the most powerful way as to sell online. And a lot of people are skeptical about this because they think it's too good to be true. If it will be so good, people will know it. Well, the thing is, it's more complicated than that. Actually, people know that the product launch formula works, but the people who know that are a tiny, tiny, tiny minority of the population. It's the tiny minority who tried it, So it's important to really try things. And the third principle is the 20-80 rule. You already spoke about it. It's like the Pareto rule. It's like in everything you can focus on the 20% of the work that brings 80% of the result. And when you combine everything, you are looking all the time for methods that are more important and more interesting, more relevant than the others. You try them with a good skeptic mindset, and then you use a Pareto rule to extract the essence of it, to just use the 20% that will bring 80% of the results, so you don't burn yourself doing them. And that's what I mean by hacking, the system, hacking your life. And with these 3 principles, I really think you can have an edge in about everything.
Well, so what I heard from you is that skepticism is a good thing, and to listen to yourself when you're skeptical. Number one. Number two, to be open to experiment and to try different experiments to discover for yourself what is true and what is not true. And then number three, always pay attention to the Pareto principle, which is 20% of your efforts are going to produce 80% of the results, and always trying to distill down what is that 20%. So give me some examples, Olivier, in terms of how this has played out in your life. Perhaps give me some examples of how it may have played out in your personal life and how it may have played out in your business life.
Sure. So as I shared before, I was happy for maybe the first five years of my first business, but then I was like overwhelmed by the 60, 70 hours I was working every week. And I looked for solutions for years, and I couldn't find any really. And it was big deal for me because I created this company to be free. I wanted to escape the school system. I wanted to be my own boss, and I did. But I realized, hey, now I want more balance between my professional and my personal life. But this company is my only source of income. I don't see how I can sell it. I don't see how I can, lower the amount of time I put into it without making the business bad. I couldn't see. I couldn't stop the business too because I couldn't have any employment benefit in France when you're like a CEO. So I was like, wow, I created this business to be free, and actually I created my own jail. Because now I cannot even stop it if I want, or maybe I can, but I will not have any source of income, which is a big problem, right? So I look for years for solution, and then I read a book. You mentioned Tim Ferriss, and it is actually an honor that you say that I'm like the modern Tim Ferriss because I read the 4-Hour Workweek, and it completely blew my mind, And a lot of people read this book and didn't apply anything, and a lot of people read this book and were skeptic, and I was skeptic, but I was like, okay, wow, how can I be skeptic in the right way? How can I try what Tim Ferriss is offering, And I decided to try to start an internet business. So see, and I was like, okay, how I can put in place an experiment that will not require too much time, that I can do while I'm still managing my first company, and that will not require a lot of money and resources, And I haven't read the Lean Startup book at the time, but basically I was doing Lean Startup without realizing it, because the Lean Startup is about, do you hear me? Because I see you are freeze right now. I'm not sure if anyone is here. Hello. I'm not sure if we lost Stu or me. Okay, so let's see. Okay, it seems I do have internet. If you hear me, could you say hello, Olivier, in the comment to see if it's Stu or me who is the problem? Okay, so Marie, okay, it seems, okay, we lost Stu, you didn't lose me. So I guess I will continue. I guess I will continue. Hopefully Stu will be able to come back. We definitely lost Stu. Wow, it's crazy. And Stu was like this. So, okay, let me just launch Signal so I can see if Stu is sending me messages. Hello, folks, by the way. I'm so grateful that Stu is having me. So what I was saying. Yes, so... So I stumbled upon the 4-Hour Workweek, and I was like, okay, let's do an experiment, And I combined these Oh, Stu is back. Hello, Stu.
Hey, buddy. I apologize.
No problem.
Thank you for continuing to share, but keep going.
Okay, I don't know what did it cut, because you need also to listen to it, right?
The last part that I heard was actually right where you were picking up, was where you were skeptical of the 4-hour work week, but you decided to allocate a small amount of time to experiment and try.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I was saying I was doing the lean startup method without ever doing it, because the lean startup method is about doing an MVP, a minimal viable product. You ask yourself, okay, I have this brilliant idea. I'm sure it's a great idea. What is the experiment I can do right now with a minimum amount of time, resources, money, so I can really see if it works or not? So for me, I combined this motivation from the 4-hour work week with the idea of creating a blog. It was in 2008. And it was great for me because I could write 1 article a week, maybe 2 articles a week. It didn't take me a lot of time. And it was a great way to start to create an audience and see if people were interested in what I could share, And I created 3 blogs, and the third one was my successful blog, the one that allowed me to become a professional blogger. It was a blog about books. And oh my God, Stu, are you here? Okay, because sometimes you're like,
I'm here.
Okay, so here is an example. I'm always asking myself, what is the thing I can try right now that will not disturb too much my life? Basically, I think you have 2 schools of thought in entrepreneurship. You have people telling you, hey, you need to burn your ships. So you have only 2 options. Either you win or you die. That's it, and then you will have the best motivation possible. And I mean, it can work, but I don't think it will work for most people. The second school of thought, which is mine, is like, yeah, you have to take risk to be an entrepreneur for sure, but you don't have to take inconsiderate risk. You can just take smart risk. You can be smart about it. So you can just do exactly that. What is a experiment that you can do right now that will not disturb your life too much, but will give you confidence if it succeeds to, go further and maybe then do a big change in your life? And when I created my first business at 19, I don't even have the basic diploma in France, I mean, it can seem like crazy to do that, but I was actually basing myself on an experiment I did, because I was so shy when I was young that basically I was a geek, I was very good in computers. And I realized with a friend that we were good at repairing people's computer problems. And instead of, burning the ship, saying, okay, we stop school, we work on the project, and then we cut the company. No, we ask ourselves, okay, how can we experiment this idea? And we just bought a small ad in a local newspaper for very cheap, like $10 maybe. And we got $1,000 of sales in 1 month. So this experiment that was very easy to do gave me the confidence to do what people will think is crazy, but it was not so crazy because I knew it was working. I knew people were actually paying me money for the idea I got, So yeah, I hope it answers your question.
Yeah, no, this is great. So let me, I want to unpack one other element of this, because in the book, again, we're talking to Olivier Roland, the author of the book, The Way of the Intelligent Rebel: Succeed Outside the System, Teach Yourself Anything, and Achieve Ultimate Freedom. By the way, our audience here is having fun with the fact that I apparently was getting frozen with a variety of interesting
you were like
poses.
This.
Yeah. Oh, fascinating. You guys are hilarious in the comments. But one of the things that you unpack here is like, there's two parts to the book. And this is what I really wanted to emphasize for people. Part 1 is really all about like, learning how to learn differently, learning how to think differently, learning how to ask different types of questions, to, discover, how to achieve the things that you want, again, with, the least amount of effort, the least amount of, energy and so forth, but with the best possible results. And then the second part about the book is all about how to apply this to building a business. And you essentially like a slave to the business, and you're essentially serving the business, and the other way around, which is your philosophy, which is the business is serving you. And I'm wondering if you can give some examples of how you've begun to apply this to your business today. Because I am fortunate in that you and I are in a mastermind. I see the way you think. I see the way you approach, and even challenge different people's ideas in the mastermind and how they're thinking about rolling certain things out. And for example, I know that there was a decision that you made recently where we're again drilling down what is the 20% of it's going to produce 80% of the results. And so I'm just wondering if you can just give examples of like how you are applying your thought process as an intelligent rebel to your business today.
Yeah, great question. The first thing, and is actually a bit counterintuitive to think like this, to have a business that's in service of your life, is, it's like most people think to have more time in their life, they need to be more productive, they need to put in place systems, they need to recruit people, they need to delegate, and all these things are great, but it's not enough. And you shouldn't start by these. I know it's a bit strange, but hear me out. What happens if you put in place a system, you become more productive, etc., and you gain, let's say, 2 or 3 hours a week? If you don't know how you will use these 3 hours, especially outside of work, by default, you will be in front of your computer most of the time, and you will try to
do more work.
Yes, you will just try to find something to do on your computer, even if it's not needed. You will just try to, not be bored by doing something. So the first step is actually to find something outside of work that you are so impatient to do that you want to close your computer as fast as possible to do it. And when you do that, when you have these, you become immediately more efficient because you are so much more motivated to do things in time, to focus on what is really important, to not work for work's sake, etc., etc. For me, what I found that is really filling the void is traveling. Right now, I'm in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. I'm in a hotel room, by the way. Sorry for the strange background. And when I travel, I want to do 1 billion things beside walking. I want to, of course, explore the place, meet the people, do the activities, just feel the vibes of the place, And so it makes me very, very efficient. I don't want to lose time daydreaming in front of my computer, watching videos of cats, and this kind of stuff. I'm laser focused. It helps me to be laser focused. And it's also a great motivation for me to learn how to be more productive, to delegate, to recruit, etc., etc. So try to find something like this, and of course, let's be careful here. When you start your company, you don't want to do this, okay? When you start your company, you have your knife between your teeth like this, and you just go all in, all right? I'm talking after the first stage, when your company is making good money and it's good, and of course, it depends on your goal. Some people are perfectly happy being super, super, super ambitious, and it's fine, but yeah, I think everyone should try this exercise for at least 1 month. You have this activity outside of work that you're so excited to do, and you will see how it changes your relation to work. So to give you one specific example that I did for years, for years, we are more or less in the same business. The main difference is I'm in French and you in English. And of course we have different approaches. But I don't focus too much on community, unlike you. And for years, I didn't have an event. In our industry, you have to have at least one annual event, right? It's like a heresy to not have it. It's like not normal. It's like, what is going on, dude? What is happening to you, And for years, I didn't have an event. And it's because I didn't want to put all the work needed to organize an event, because for me, it was not compatible with my lifestyle. I hated the idea of having to be somewhere at a specific time, because I was traveling all the time. And but I found the 2080 way of doing an event. What was that? I was like, a typical event is like 2 or 3 days, and it's like a lot of speakers coming to share, great content. But I was like, is it really important that people get more content? Usually people are overwhelmed with content already. Do they really need this? And I was like, maybe not. So what is the most interesting thing that people are really taking out from an event? I was like, it's meeting people, relationships, networking. And I decided to do a half a day event every year for like 8 years. And without any content, no content at all, my students were only meeting each other. That's it. And people loved it. And it was so simple to organize. There was nothing to organize. I asked my assistant to just find a place and that we gather and that's it, So that's just one example, And now I changed. Now not last year, but I'm organizing a 3 days event, but because I wanted to see what it was like, and now I love it, But it's just one example of the thing. You can just think of something that everyone does in your industry, and you're like, what is the essence of it? What really is the 2080 of this? And you just do this, and usually it's perfectly fine.
Well, Olivier, I want to thank you for coming today, and I want to recommend everybody go get a copy of the book, The Way of the Intelligent Rebel: Succeed Outside the System, Teach Yourself Anything, and Achieve Ultimate Freedom. I know they can go and get it from Amazon or from traditional bookstores. You also have set up a website where they can also get other materials. You want to quickly talk about this?
Sure. So basically, if you go to thewayoftheintelligentrebel.com, you have the link right now on the display. You can grab the 3 principles that I talk about. So you can really deep dive into these, and you will see. By the way, in the book, I not only rely on my own experience and the experience of hundreds of entrepreneurs like Stu that I met over the years, but also on a lot of scientific studies. There are more than 400 scientific studies referenced in my book, because for me it's very important that I share things that not only work for me but for most people, So yeah, hopefully you will like it, and you will find some interesting tools you can use to be an intelligent rebel and create your own adventure in life.
Buddy, thank you so much for joining us. Again, go get a copy of the book. It's awesome. It is jam-packed. And as a number of people pointed out in the comments, I'm just going to highlight here. Where was it? Elisa said, I love the sound of this book. I love practicals. And Elisa, it is jam-packed with practicals. That's the thing that I've appreciated about the book, is it's not just theory. It's like how to take these concepts, these ideas, and put them into practice. Above all, and this is what I love about the message of the book, it's about designing your life that you want first, and then building the business to support that life. And, as Olivier doesn't have kids yet, I've got young kids. For anybody who has kids, what I can tell you is that my concept of time changed dramatically the moment I had kids. And I realized how much more valuable my time is, because for me in this season of my life, it's about investing in those little human beings and spending time with them. So, Olivier, when you talk about finding something outside of work that motivates you, for me, this is it. Is time with those kids. Is like creating experiences with those kids. And this is why I love the message of the book. It's about getting clear on what's important and what, inspires you from a life perspective, and building the business to serve that purpose. So thank you for writing it. Thank you for publishing it. People go get a copy of it, The Way of the Intelligent Rebel by Olivier Roland. You can get it at any bookstore, Amazon, or you can just go to the URL that we showcased earlier. Olivier, thank you so much for joining us, buddy. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Stu.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.